Hello, Internet. All right, let's jump into it. My name is Celeste Ryan. I'm almost 28 years old. I I don't even know where to begin. I recorded a video a minute ago, and watched it back, and I was just yelling the whole time, and it's not very fun to listen to, so I'm gonna redo it. I am not somebody that anybody really knows, but for the last few years, I have been trying to document this weird thing that I've been through, and put it out there and get it on the internet and have other people watch it and be aware of what's going on. I guess I'm a perfectionist because everything I've ever done, I didn't like it. And I didn't feel like it was good enough, and so I've never posted anything. I've been planning on doing this in order so that when people like you watch a video like this, maybe you'll understand the whole backstory and the history of everything. But today I was thrown into an absolute fit of rage, and I cannot wait anymore. So here we go. A very, very brief backstory. When I was 6 years old, I was rear-ended by a commercial plumbing van, and I was left with some pretty severe permanent injuries in my spine. Miraculously, my dad was and is a chiropractor, so I was very well taken care of for many years, which anytime I say that I get choked up because shout out to my dad. When I was 20, I filed a lawsuit. But I did it on my own. So no attorneys to help me out with this whole process. I'm sure I'll do many videos explaining why I did that and what my kind of thought process was at the time. But I felt that I was deserving of some compensation for what they did to me, and the pain that I suffered and grew up with and all that. But as I'm sure many people are aware of, I don't think it's a secret, our legal system is broken. It's in very rough shape. And unfortunately, I feel that while people know that, there's never any real clear understanding of like where it's broken, how it's broken, why it's broken. It really just, people are aware of that because of these unjust results. And so then people, assume that if it's an unjust result, it must be an unjust process. But there's really never any explanation of where those cracks are. So for years, I've been going through it. And I believe that I've identified a lot of, not even close to all, but a good chunk of why that is, and have been attempting to share that with people. But I've never posted anything, and I guess today is as good as any to start. So, what threw me into an episode of crying and yelling was I got an email today that the defendants, I'm the plaintiff, have filed a motion with the appellate court for a time extension on their briefs. And while that won't make any sense to anybody unless you get the story, that set me off and motivated me, I guess, kind of lit a fire to put something out and explain that. So that's what I'm going to do. What happened with me is that I very clearly and obviously have a corrupt judge through the entire trial process. Some people will say that and will say that, well, if things just didn't go your way, or that I lost, and so I, of course I'm going to say it was cheating, but it was. And I went through some, the legal abuse for 6 years. And for about 4 of those years, told the court and the defendants at every chance that I got that I would be appealing. Most of my motions at that point, I would state that, I'm really just preserving my appellate record. Like, it was no surprise that I was going to appeal because what was happening to me was wrong and I was going to take it up the chain, basically. So we had trial, a full jury trial in December. It's now September, so almost a year ago. And I filed my briefs, I believe, in June. I have been told through this entire process that while I'm not an attorney, I'm held to the standard of an attorney. And that if I don't do things perfectly, if I don't do them well, if I don't understand it, if I don't learn it quickly enough, all of these things, it's no excuse that basically I stepped into the ring and I need to be as good, if not better, than my opponents who are 34-year, Gary Western is a 34-plus year litigation attorney. And then I needed to be on par with him. And if I wasn't, well, sucks to suck. So with that backstory, ish, there's a lot there and a lot of things. There's a lot of history that have made today a very sensitive subject for me, that the defendant's attorneys are asking for an extension, which is essentially to modify or ignore the rules to give them a helping hand. Otherwise, if they didn't get an extension, they wouldn't be able to file their briefs, or they'd have to file it as is, which apparently isn't good enough for them, and they would like some more time. When I filed my appeal briefs in June, they already asked for a 2-month extension, which was granted. Today, I got an email for another extension that they're asking for 4 more days, because their leading attorney was sick over the weekend, and it was due today, September 11th, and she was sick over the weekend. So for the 2 months that she had additionally to the month that she already had to answer it, so 3 months that she's had to answer it, she needs 4 extra days because the last weekend before it was due, she was sick. And that's not, again, like the biggest deal to anybody else who doesn't know the rest of the story. But let me make this very clear. I have lost motions. I lost my ability to present medical witnesses. I lost my ability to present medical evidence under the notion that I'm held to the standard of an attorney, which is supposed to be the gold standard, that they do everything so well, and that if I don't do things perfectly, it's because I'm not living up to their standard. For anybody who's ever done even the beginning idea of litigation, I'm sure you've been told that you cannot do this and you must get an attorney, because they're going to do it so well. They're going to do everything right. They know the rules in and out, and that they're going to do it right for you. And don't you even dare attempt to do this super complex thing that we do so well. The problem that I have with that, and the underlying, like, triggering, I don't like using that word, but it is, basis for this, is that that's a lie. There is no standard that attorneys are actually held to. It's all a game to them. None of it's real. It's make-believe, pretend land. Anything outside of the courtroom, they're just punching in and punching out. It's a job. This is my life. I was injured as a child. My ability to work and provide for myself was taken away from me. And when I attempted to exercise my right to have that mended in any way, shape, or form, I was treated like I didn't matter at all. Like I was a nuisance. And so again, today, and let me make this very clear. So they've had 3 months now to file this response brief. My lawsuit their liability is for almost $10 million. And they don't feel motivated to get the job done on time. So for me, not only is that an insult that why am I held to the super high standard and they're not, but it just goes to show that they didn't prioritize this because they don't actually believe that the rules apply to them. They're counting on the extension. They know it's going to be granted. So while I'm held to these super high standards of all the rules of procedure and all of these things all the time, all of these attorneys are operating knowing ahead of time that they don't actually matter. They won't actually, in the end, be applied to them. That's a two-tiered justice system, is it not? So, additionally, to add literal insult to literal injury, I got my briefs in on time, and they can't. I'm this inexperienced, uncapable, if that's even a word, person, and they're these magnificent, hire an attorney, they're going to do the job right. This is an entire law firm. They have staff, they have decades of experience between all of the partners, associates, they have paralegals working for them, drafting their documents, filing it, managing their schedules, managing their clients. They have a copier that they can make endless copies of. I have to pay for copies. They have funds, they have resources, they have the time. They're paid to do this. This woman, who's the lead attorney, is paid to show up to work, write these briefs, and get them in on time. And that's not even enough motivation for her to do it, that it's her job. Meanwhile, I don't know what I'm doing. Every single thing that I do in this case, I have to learn it as I go. I don't have a formal education for it. I don't have a partner that I can go, I don't understand this case precedent or this ruling or whatever. Do you have advice? I don't have anybody to turn to ask for help like that. I don't have any resources. I'm disabled. I haven't been able to work for years and years and years through multiple attempts. No money, no experience, no real time. I'm a full-time student. So again, I'll break this down. I was disabled at 6 years old. I was hit. Their other excuse is that they have other cases that they're doing. I was hit back to back, 2019, a month later in 2020. I'm prosecuting those cases. I've got lawsuits going for them. So I'm a full-time student. I'm permanently disabled. I'm prosecuting 2 other cases on my own. I'm having to learn this as I go. I've never appealed before. I have to learn it as I go. I have to do all the work myself. I don't have a staff. I don't have somebody typing this up for me. I don't have any resources. It causes me an unbelievable amount of pain to sit and do the things that I do while being discriminated against the entire time and told that I'm doing a bad job. And yet they can't get it in, not only on time, but on time for the extension that they already got. So again, I know this is a long video and it's the first of many, many long videos, but imagine how that feels. It's like having a sibling that's clearly favored. I could be getting straight A's and my brother could fail out of school and he's still favored. Imagine how that feels. Now stake your entire future on that. Your livelihood, your ability to pay your bills, your ability to get the treatment that you need. It's a necessity for me. I have to have it to function. And I don't get to pay for that. I get to wake up every day. 2 months, 4 days. That I get to wake up every single day and worry about how the fuck I'm gonna survive. I'm treated horribly through the whole process because I'm not as good as them. I'm fucking better. This entire system is built on this idea that you can't do this. And then I step in and I challenge that. And I do it better. And I still lose. Imagine how that feels. And I know that they're going to grant this 4-day extension because what is it to them? No harm, no foul. They don't understand what this does to me. Another favor, another, excuse. Their excuse is, we didn't care enough. We didn't prioritize this enough to do it. Give us an extension. And they know that it'll be given to them. It's programmed into their mind. It's a pattern at this point. They know it. They have no fear that it won't happen. You know what would happen if they didn't do it on time? If they didn't get the extension? They wouldn't be able to file their briefs. They'd lose. They're staking this case on the assumption that they will be given consideration because they're in the club. That's cheating. And I'm not some stickler for the rules. I'm a little type A, yes, but I'm not a mega rule follower. But when I have to follow the rules, I expect other people to follow the rules. Especially when there's this much writing on it. And it sums up the whole thing and what my whole channel is going to be about, and what a lot of people in this country are feeling is that you don't matter. You don't matter at all. That we're the ones who are playing our little game, and we're the only ones who count. And that our practice and our jobs and the things that we just do every day matter more than you do. And again, I know what's 4 days, but in the scheme of things, it's actually a really big deal to me. And I'm going to put more stuff out. And I really hope that if you've sat through 20 minutes of me ranting about this, that maybe you'd be interested in some of the other things that I'm going to talk about and why this is so upsetting to me today. And I really appreciate anybody who listens, because this stuff does matter. And I'm not going to discount my own experience, which has been horrific, because other people have it worse. I know other people have it worse. But I really believe that, why? Why do they have it worse? And why do we all go through these things all the time and no one could ever really identify it? And I'm going to try my best to show people how I've identified the cracks in the system. And I'm probably going to cry a lot because it sucks, but I really think there are people out there who want to know. And I'm going to try my best to explain it and keep my cool a little bit better than I'm doing now. But today was just, I don't know, maybe the final straw or something. But thank you so much, and welcome to my glorious channel. And I hope to see you around. So thank you.